Hi everyone, it's Dinah Palm, the Love Witch, and I'm going to continue with the Afterlife episodes because I want to answer all the questions that you've been giving me. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about after-death communication, which is one of my favorite topics. I love after-death communication because I'm a medium, but I'm also a skeptic, which sounds crazy. So after-death communication can come to you in many forms. And I was receiving after-death communication for most of my life. I just didn't know exactly what it was or if it was real, which then led me into doing paranormal work for over a decade and working directly at haunted sites, helping to clear them and working through that vibration and energy. And one of my takeaways, one of the things I loved the most about that was getting concrete results, proof of the afterlife. That came in the form of photos, that came in the form of recorded voices. It came from actual physical things moving about and getting it on camera. It came from knocks on the wall. It came from a lot of different physical elements in our environment. Now, I love that because it validated for me that what I was receiving in after-death communication was real and valid. I'm such a big fan of getting scientific evidence about the afterlife. It actually shows you that what you're picking up on intuitively is occurring at a vibration that most people are just unaware of. It's true that when spirits speak, their vibration is a different tone than we're used to hearing, much like a dog whistle. When you blow that dog whistle, you can't hear it, but the dog can. Well, a medium's ears are tuned in more to the spirit world, and that's why some mediums can hear spirits speaking while most of the population cannot. So it's not that it's not occurring, but you have to be able to tune in to the frequency of the spirit voices. Some after-death communication can come in the way of divining tools. That would be like your spirit board, Ouija board, using a pendulum. It could come in the way of tea leaves, or it could come in the way of getting signs and symbols. There are many ways to receive after-death communication. The most common form of after-death communication would be dream visits. Many people don't realize that those dream visits they're having are real. They're very lucid dreams that you would have with your loved one in heaven once they've passed. The biggest takeaway from your dream visit is to understand the content surrounding the dream. If your loved one is peacefully on the other side, they're mending all their stuff that they went through in life, they've learned their soul lessons, they're in heaven, they're at peace, they will convey that in a dream. They may come and have meaningful, beautiful conversations with you. They may just show up and smile with no words at all. They may just be seen somewhere in the background and you'll recognize them. And that's just their way of letting you know that they're there. I'm going to break down some of the interpretations of dream visits. One of the questions I had was, what if you see one of your deceased loved ones in a dream and they're upset, they're angry, they're fidgeting, they're looking confused? That would indicate that your loved one actually needs some help crossing over. If a loved one is stuck in a mental or emotional state that's preventing them from going to the other side, they're living in a state of kind of a purgatory. There are many different names for it, but it's kind of an in-between, and they may need some extra help with their healing to cross them over, to get them into the light where they really do feel peace, where their spirit's elevated, uplifted, and where they can continue with their spiritual journey. So if you do get a dream where your loved one is showing up upset, agitated, or saying negative things, this tells you that they still need a little help in healing before being at peace in heaven. It's really easy to do this. I do this work. It would just take one session to connect with your loved one and move them into the light. Most of the time, people receive dream visits where their loved one shows up and is at peace. When your loved one shows up in your dream and they're at peace, they're just showing you that they're with you still, that they have not left your side. This is for your benefit so that you can feel at peace and so that you can know that you still have a connection with them, that you haven't really lost them. They're right there with you and they can watch over you and help you from the other side. People also ask me the question, what if my deceased loved one doesn't say anything? They just smile. What does that mean? And that's pretty easy because in the spirit world, they often don't speak. Many times in the spirit world, there are not actual words being spoken. Sometimes it's more of a telepathic communication where we're interpreting the feeling, the sense, the vibration of what they want to convey. It's extremely common to see your deceased loved ones in a dream and not have any actual words being spoken, to not see their mouth moving, and to not physically hear their words, even in the dream state. You may see them, and it's almost like the information is just being conveyed back and forth because your link to them is telepathic. Your link is psychic. And when you're dreaming, you're operating more in the spirit world, which allows you to be privy to the way that they can communicate. It's much easier in the spirit world because you don't have to strain to listen to that frequency that's difficult for a human ear to hear. In the dream world, you understand, you see, you connect, and you communicate in this very easy space of telepathic communication. A lot of times they'll just smile at you and not have any words at all. And when that happens, you should just feel in your heart what that feels like. And I would ask my clients, what did it feel like when you saw your mother in heaven smile at you? And they'll be like, oh my God, it was so amazing. Her smile was so beautiful, it just lit up her whole face. Well, is there any word that would actually take the place of that? Do you need to hear that she's happy in order to know it? Because being able to see it and being able to feel it is so much more powerful than actual words. When your after-death communication is occurring in the dream state, just pay attention to the content. Many times I see my deceased loved ones in a dream, and it's kind of a casual encounter, like we'll see each other at a party and we'll kind of check in on each other. When you're having that kind of exchange and it's not really direct communication or a direct knowing, it's more they're just showing you that they're around and there's nothing really important that they need to say to you. It's just this general feeling like it was in life. Going to a party and seeing them there, it kind of brings you comfort. So when they're bringing that kind of message to you, it's the same. They're just saying, go about your day, live your life. I'm here, I'm with you, I'm hanging out, I'm coming along, you know? And so it's more of just letting you know that they are still with you. They're still a part of your life. Some dream visits are really profound because it gives you the opportunity to really clear the air, to express things that maybe you didn't express when they were living. If you held back on expressing your love, this is the opportune time for you to do that. What I see most people holding back on is apologies. And so when your loved one comes to you in a dream visit, this is the time that you can say you're sorry to them. They will receive it 100%, and it allows you both to make peace with each other. It's really quite beautiful. Although you don't have to wait for a dream visit in order to say you're sorry. You can say it right here and right now, and your loved one in the spirit world will hear you. If you have something unfinished, unresolved with a loved one that passed, just go ahead and say it out loud. You don't have to wait for a dream visit, but you'll probably get one after you do because they'll want to let you know that you're being acknowledged, that they heard it, that they received it, and that they also healed because of it. One of the best ways that you can actually bring on more after-death communication is to keep the lines of communication open. Just keep them in your life. Keep talking to them. Tell them, you know, what's going on in your life, what you think about different things, what you've learned from their passing, what you need help with. Invite them still to be a part of your life. And then start paying attention to all the signs and symbols that they're around. People also ask me about signs and symbols as a form of after-death communication. Sometimes after-death communication is more subtle, and that would be in your environment. But it's very easy for them to manipulate things in your environment in terms of signs and symbols. If your sign and symbol was a dragonfly, start paying attention to where dragonfly leads you. Pay attention to when they show up, how you run across them in just random places, and you'll know that this is a sign from your loved one. You'll know that that's a message for you. If you've had some dream visits with your loved ones, I'd love to hear it down below in the comments. Let me know if you still have some questions about dream visits as a form of after-death communication. If you like this video, be sure to give me a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode.